giving a lot of good courses. So you first you need to prioritize which course do you want to pursue after your graduation. Oh, okay. Let me just introduce myself. My name is Abhishek Deswal, and I have graduated from faculty of the Banaras Hindu University this year. And as of now, I'm currently pursuing my LLM from National Law School, Bangalore. And I think this is the my brief introduction. So, okay, so I was just saying that the very first thing you need to do is first visit the website of university, check your preference with the subjects. Like how many of you want to pursue, just raise your hand, pursue your LLM in constitutional law. Okay, two of them are there. Anyone in okay, I can't show. Anyone want to pursue in competition law? Business law. See, in Sri Lanka, in business law also there is you would also surely get to know, get to pursue your business law LLM in business law, but there is you have to specialize on a very brief area while writing your dissertation. So in that sense, if you would be writing your dissertation, you have to choose a very broad, very you know narrow area of your area. Like I'm doing patents law, not on a very broad area of IPR. So accordingly, if you want to do your LLM on IPR or constitutional law or contract or family law, etc., etc., so your priority should be according to the availability of the program. Okay, like for example, National Law School Bangalore does not offer LLM on family law. But if you want to get into the academics, or if you want to make your career with family law, okay, if you want to teach family law as a professor somewhere, so in that way, that would be you have to prioritize your college in that way, because those who want to get into academics, just let me give you a brief insight that most of the faculties and law schools are having the faculty crunch of the family law professors. So as of now, many people want to pursue their LLM on family law, but there is no such course being offered by various national law schools. Usually traditional law schools such as Delhi University or Banaras University, they are offering family law on LLM. So you have to prioritize your strategy for LLM according to your ambition. Some of you just want to crack CLAT for PSUs, as someone has said, or someone just want to do LLM for like what I just for the sake of degree. So that would depend how you want to do. So as all of you just ask a very similar question in the same line, that how you are going to prioritize CLAT between CLAT and IELTS. So see, first of all, what I would say you, this I have also made this. First, make a list of the subjects of sorry, I just had a idea that I need to just brief you all with IELTS strategy. I have not taken CLAT perspective, but I will surely deal with it. So first of all, chalk out the number of subjects which are there in the syllabus. So there are for this ALET, there are near about 12 subjects on which questions are based, and accordingly, constitutional law and criminal law and contract and jurisprudence, four law I have seen, four area of subject I have seen that most of the questions are based on, and thereafter few questions are from each and other subject area. So accordingly, you have to prioritize your reading strategies, your notes making strategy, or your any kind of strategy with respect to number of questions asked. The more number of questions asked from which area, you should focus on that area. Like for example, in ALET, 20 questions I believe are from constitutional and administrative law. 20 questions, sorry, last year they asked 50 questions from criminal law. That was a huge number. 50 or 51 questions were in IDET 2019 were from criminal law itself. So means out of 150, 50 were from criminal law. So those who were knowing criminal law very well, so uh, they scored very well. And 20 questions are asked from torts, 20 somewhat 20 from contract, someone 20 from jurisprudence, 20 from PIL. 5 questions are from partnership and sales of goods act, and they also ask very legal GK. The legal GK is both dynamic and static. So you should rely on newspaper, check recent appointments, reports, such as which have been submitted, and what is the broad area of that report. And in last this year they haven't asked from anything from environmental law, but till last year they used to ask from environmental law also. So see, syllabus may change or depends upon who is framing the question paper. So syllabus won't change. Oh, sorry, pattern may change that how many questions they may ask. But this is the broad area of mm, their curriculum from which they premise the whole, from which is the premise of whole question paper, and questions are asked only from this particular uh, area of subjects. Similar is the case of uh, CLAD also. If you could just help me, I could also mention about CLAD. Anyone could help me if I have missed any legislation from which questions are. Sheetal, could you just help me out?
In CLAT, labor law, then there was this, I don't remember, related to migration. There was this act, no? I don't really
Okay,
remember.
that was
Ma'am,
something very.
international law.
International law, yes, international law.
This is their public international PIL.
There was, it was not broadly categorized as labor law, but one particular act they asked, no? So I don't really remember.
So only one question was there. Means
Contract Labor and Evolution and Regulation Act was asked.
Yes.
Okay.
That was.
So that was something of a legal
Actually,
GK.
the state migrant laws.
Yes.
So that was something a legal GK type
Yes,
of question.
intra-state migration workers act, that was act.
1979, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that was a legal GK type of question, which was if you could have just read newspaper or followed live law, you could have just cracked it. So that's why I have covered it here. Anything else? Any specific legislation which I'm missing?
So tax law.
Yeah, tax law. But they haven't asked any question this year, though it is part of their curriculum.
This time they have given this subject.
Last time also they have given, but they haven't asked any question.
Sir,
So-
IPR.
Yeah, they have written property law in their curriculum, but
Yes,
IPR.
sir.
So, but you can.
Yeah, there is this confusion, we had last time when they mentioned only property law. So even I mailed them, what is the meaning of property law? Like everything can come under property law, right? So they mentioned that all the subjects that are being taught during our LLB course related to property law, all are included. So it includes everything, then IPR, then your this Transfer of Property Act and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if you want to follow my advice, the very first thing I would advise you, and I have seen this in ALET specifically, that they rely much on the Bayer Acts. Well, if you could just, I will just send this also if you want. So if you just peruse the question paper, last year question paper of ILET, a number of questions were based on the Bayer Acts. For example, from CRPC and IPC, out of 50 questions, 25 to 27 questions were just what the just from the Bayer Act, that what is specific things which is mentioned in the Bayer Act. So if you are very well versed with the CR criminal procedure as such, not with the case laws development, only with the Bayer Act, that would keep you at the edge in the competition. Second thing which is there in this aided once again is the Bayer Act of the Constitution. they ask various questions from the constitution itself, that what article 395 says or what article 25 says, etc., etc., what is specifically mentioned there. So you could rely much on the constitutional Bayer Act. Though I never prefer Bayer Act. When you read book, you supplement Bayer Act with it. So I would suggest you to read books also, but be thorough with the Bayer Act, so that at any point of time it should be on your mind that which article is saying what. So at the time of exam, if any question is asked, you would be able to crack it very easily. So it won't be creating you any problem. Then comes the Contract Act. From contract, most of the questions are directly from the Bayer Act. So you just need to read all the 227, 228, whatever the number of the sections are there. Sorry, 238 are there, I believe. So just read all the provisions of the Bayer Act specifically, and supplement it with the Avatar Singh. But I would suggest you to focus on the specific contract mode, that is bailment guarantee, pledge. Most of the questions are asked from that area in IELTS. Less number of questions are based from section 1 to 73. More number of questions are based from 123 onwards. So focus on contract, but for in specific contract mode, and be very thorough with the Bayer provisions. They ask a very good questions, good number of questions from Bayer Act itself. You do not need to mug up the case laws, and case laws are very easy. If you would just peruse Avatar Singh for once, you would be able to crack that. Then coming to the jurisprudence, what I have observed with the CLAT, that in the recent trend from last 2-3 years, they ask much of the question from critical legal studies, feminism, and postmodernism. They ask a less number of questions, that who has said this quote and who has written about realist school or social school. So the earlier question, which is the normal jurisprudence which we used to read, that is not asked much in this ALED. They ask much on this critical legal studies of feminism or postmodernism. And for this, you may rely on Raymond Barks, Ian McLeod, beyond this. They are good books. So in jurisprudence, they ask from this, and their jurisprudence questions are very analytical. So I would suggest you to don't rely on any Indian books as such. And because jurisprudence, I think they ask near about 20 questions from jurisprudence itself. So if your jurisprudence would be good, if you would be able to crack, there are 10 questions also. There are 10 questions are also very tough to crack. So you must be good with jurisprudence, so that you could follow their questions. Coming to the public international law, their international law questions are also very, very good, of very good quality. So I would suggest you to read Malcolm Shaw, because any Indian writer like S.K. Kapoor have not written very well so as to cover the syllabus of IELTS. So Malcolm Shaw is something where, and they asked a very good number of questions from recognition and international criminal court, which is not as such prescribed in our course curriculum of BLLB. So, and international human rights and etc. etc. So I would suggest you to read Malcolm Shaw full, because if it is possible, though I know we are at you are very late as of now, because your exam is scheduled on May. But anyhow, I would suggest you to read Malcolm Shaw if it's possible. For partnership and sales of goods act, you just need to read Bayer Act. I would suggest you to read Avatar Singh, because Avatar Singh has just reiterated Bayer Act in a broad term, and your work would be done with the partnership and sales of goods. And for environmental law also, I would just suggest you to read Shyam Diwan and Roshan Bedi is a very good book, but I would suggest you to read Bayer Act. Along with that, you must read P. Radhakrishnan. It's a good book, which is also not very lengthy, and which you may cover in a few days. I hope it is not getting monotonous if I'm not getting any response and I cannot see any faces. Hello.
Hi guys, any that you might want to ask to him? He just asking, it is not monotonous. He just wanted to be interactive. If any doubts that you may have, just unmute yourself and speak up.
Sorry, chat is not visible. Okay.
Hello, sir. How did you analyze last year paper of the IELTS? How did you go through the last year papers and what do you think कि जो
Yeah.
आपने पेपर दिया था उससे वो कितना ज़्यादा match किया? How did they help?
Okay, so when you peruse the last year question paper, you just analyze how many subjects they are going to ask. So for me, that was only just to get the gist of the number of subjects, because I have seen that they never repeat the questions. Their quality of questions are very high in ELIT, and they cover a very wide range of issues. So there won't be any chance of repetition of the question, but you get the gist of their paper, that how they are going to ask question, how they are going to pose the question, and what all area you have to cover. So for example, for jurisprudence, I just read Dias and I thought that would be more than enough. But when I saw their question paper, I came to know that they ask a lot of questions from critical legal studies or feminism or postmodernism. Almost all questions are based from that. So if you are reading much realist school, sociological school, and historical school, and going to face IELTS, that won't help you much. It would have been helpful last year for CLAT, but for ALET, you have to be according to their aspirations. So in that way, I will say the last year question paper would be helpful, but I think this year they haven't made any bigger changes. So this is my analysis till 2020, that this year question paper was also in the same pattern. Divya, have you got your answer?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So so this was with respect to ALET. And one more thing I would suggest you with ALET, that they ask 8 to 10 questions from a legal GK part. So, for example, they have asked this year that who was the first person or first Indian to be the judge of International Court of Justice. So that was something like a dynamic GK. You could not, if you have not read, if you have not read GK specifically and you have read books only for this prescribed books, then you won't be at a good situation to crack that 10 questions. So that 10 questions keep you at the edge while cracking this exam. So I would suggest you to be very thorough with the current legal development, particularly in the last 1 year, so that when they pose such question, that who has represented Kulbhushan Jadhav in ICJ, so you will be able to answer, okay, Harish Salve, you just need to be good with the newspaper or live law or bench, bar and bench. So just follow them and see how many new reports or appointments, particularly in the judicial field, are taking place. So that would also means that 10 questions of legal GK, particularly in IELTS, will help you a lot. Okay. So coming to CLAT, the pattern of CLAT has been changed this year, and someone has asked my strategy, that how I have managed with it. May I stop screen share?
I hope you all have returned this, or he will send it to you in the chat
Yes,
box.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We have written.
Okay, fine. Then he can stop sharing.
Okay, and because I am getting a lot of message in chat box, so it was not possible to see it. Okay, so there, a few of you have asked that question, that how to manage with CLAT and ALET. So I would suggest you to two things, that for CLAT, only 50% of questions are based on the judgments. And for ALET also, you have to read judgment, because in ALET also, they ask questions which you would be able to, although that question could be cracked without reading full judgments, by just reading brief of the judgment. But for CLAT, you have to read whole judgment. But if you read whole judgment for CLAT, that would surely help you in ALET also, because ultimately that questions are also going to be if the same question comes in the A-late, so that would be very easy for you when you have read whole judgment, and that won't be creating much problem to you. So what I have done is, my strategy was that before the lockdown, uh, I think I have completed my syllabus in the month of December 2019. I read every the book which the list which I have shared with you. I have read each and every books, made their notes, and kept them keep them revising after December to March. So that was my strategy, that I was just focusing on whatever I have read from the legal textbooks or from the Bayer Acts, supplementing it with the case laws, particularly recent case laws. Thereafter, I used to follow SCC online if any recent case law has been developed. So I just used to check that what have been overruled, or what have been done. But when this new paper was uploaded, I think in the March they have uploaded this new pattern. So I went through the question paper, and for me also that was a shocking, that I have to change my strategy altogether, because earlier my strategy was, I have completed my syllabus till this by December, so I was very in a relaxed position that I have done each and everything, and I do not need to do much hard work from now. But in December, September, March, I got to see that new question paper pattern. So I have to change my whole strategy, but that was not a much loss for me, because by reading books, I was having a core, clear understanding of the basics of the subjects. I was having the if I want to means any judgment, if I used to read, Sheetal, arbitration is also there, which we missed. Just keep a note of it.
Yes, yes.
From arbitration, they also ask a lot.
So this year they didn't include the subject arbitration in CLAT.
Okay, but they ask question paper in there. Last year also they haven't written in their syllabus, but they have post arbitrations question in their sample paper.
Okay, sir.
So this the problem with them is that they use etc. everywhere. Nothing is as such exhaustive in their list. If you see their syllabus, they write at the end etc. So they justify themselves by saying that we have written etc. So you are supposed to read each and every subject which has been taught you in your BLLB. So I would suggest you to be prepared with any kind of supplies. Okay. So I was just saying that if you read whole books, so reading books is very important, because you get to know what are the core concepts. And when you read judgment after reading books, or after having a clear concept of the judgment, then you don't have to stuck at between. For example, if you are reading privacy judgment, so once you start reading 500-page judgment, so a number of times you would be in a situation, what is this Kharak Singh, what is this MP Sharma? So if you have read once MP Jain or Shukla, you would have a clear basic understanding that okay, MP Sharma was this and Kharak Singh was this, and that's why it is getting discussed in the privacy judgment. So books make you understand the basic core concept of the subject, and when you read this, and when you read the judgment thereafter, things get very easy for you. So that's why I said read books if it is possible, and I believe that lockdown has given us a lot of time, because when this exam pattern was changed, I was also in a situation that this is March and in May we are going to have exam. But ultimately the postponement of lockdown has given a lot of time for us to change ourselves with the change circumstances, prepare ourselves with the change circumstances. So accordingly, we took those who have cracked exam with a good rank. That was very helpful with this lockdown. So for you also, I would suggest you that if you do not have classes as such in your law school, or your classes are not so hectic, along with judgments, you must also read books that would keep you at the edge in this competition. Because if you would read only judgments for CLAT, because I think 50% questions are only from the judgment. 50% questions have to be from are from the books or from your basic understanding of the law which you have read in your law school. So if you in your law school you have already done that hard work. If in your law school, if you have already read books, you have made notes, so you just need to revise. But you haven't read book in your 5 years of law school or theory of law school, then you have to read it now if you want. Shriyanka, I would even I was there. I think lockdown was there in March, and I was staying in my hostel till June. And when I went to my home after June, because ultimately I got bored because I completed all the syllabus, and then when I went to my home, I just took all my books all together with me. So you just either you go once to your hostel and get all the books, or uh, purchase it once more.
We were kicked out after 2 days. Mandatorily, you have to go. And
Yeah,
I thought, I literally thought that this is just a period of 1 or 2 weeks, then I'll be back. But अभी तो सर कोर्स ही खत्म होने वाला है और क्या जाएंगे.
but that happens also with us. If Manvin is there, Manvin knows that our colleagues also got kicked out. But anyhow, I sustained their resisting against the authorities that I need to take care of it.
They are not understanding what VHU is. There is similar pattern. We were also kicked out of the hostel,
Yeah.
but luckily he remained. Some of the people remained in the hostel. They were being sent by buses also, as well as to other arm. They were not going from the hostels, so they were being sent to their respective places. But now I would like to ask you that how did you dealt with this tedious judgment? Because reading privacy judgment, it runs down in 547 pages, and I've been there in and out in your journey to this law school, because we were there in the same library we used to go. I would like to share this fact with everyone, that I some of my seniors, and out of which one he was one of our seniors, Miss Isha Rai from his class. She cracked down IELT rank second, and he also get the similar rank 2 in CLAT All India. So this was quite an appreciation and inspiring for all of us. And I would like to give you a brief insight of his routine, which everyone might not see the other side of the story, because grass is always greener on the other side. But the hard work, the patience, the pedigree which requires to get through and sail through this examination is quite tough. And I've been constantly watching all such people, my seniors, because I've been accompanied by all such fabulous seniors who had great knowledge, as well as their perspective through different examination were different. And we don't have that professional outlook in the law school, to be very frank. I call him bhaiya, and to any of the senior, even Moez sir, he was my senior as in LLM. We call him bhaiya, and we had a great interaction with all of us. We combinedly joined together. So I would like to tell a schedule basically. He took a bike in the 5th year for the purpose of third year. I saw it in the 5th year. So only for the purpose of going library to hostel. And our cyber library, which has an intake of around 2,400, I suppose, students in a go. So, and at that too, it is not difficult to stay there, because after 15 minutes, if you are out of your seat, you have to leave your seat by your absence. After 15 minutes will let you to leave your seat. So we had to rush through in the morning at 8 o'clock started, and the cyber library went on till 11 o'clock. And he was there with me, my several friends, my seniors, several people from LLM as well as PhD preparing for various competitive examination. So for the post 1 year, he as well as his certain friends, they were constantly went to library from 8 to 11. We were used to open the library as well as close the library at 11 o'clock. So that was a hectic schedule. It seems quite simple from the other side that we read this, but literally what patience it requires and what hard work it requires, that is absolutely which has to be looked upon. And I really appreciate you, and I feel very honored as well as great that you were my senior as well as we belong to the same law school. It feels very proud that both of our seniors cracked the prestigious examination, that too with such hectic schedule and tedious schedule which was there in law school, because we were required to attend all the classes from 9 to 4. Then after 4 o'clock there is nothing much left in the brains. I think it was boring because most of the subjects, it is dependent on your choice whether you like those subjects. Your preferences vary. Some of the students might go for judicial services, they find company law boring. So it was, but anyhow we had to do the classes because of the criteria of 75% attendance. And then when we went to cyber libraries with all our stuff, some had cycles, some had bikes, and it was very difficult for us because that 15 minutes time was something which has to be looked upon as well. So I would like to congratulate him once again. And I met him in Varanasi after his examination. But I would like to congratulate him again, and it feels very proud to be a part of this institute.
Thank you, Manuel, for kind words. I think I should be an example for failure also, not for success itself. That many of you have, like many of you people think that I have been studious since my first year. Manuel, do you know very well? I think you have seen me. I do not used to attend law school also. I used to engage in other activities. So, so for the first 3 years of my law school, I was not very
Hello,
interested
Ibal.
Yeah.
I think you are not
Manan, your voice is not audible.
audible. There was a lag. My voice broke.
Can you repeat, Manvendra, what you said? We couldn't hear you. You are not audible, Manvendra. We are not able to hear you.
I am audible.
Ma'am, he
but,
was trying to say that sir's voice is not audible, but Manvendra, तुम्हारा net शायद थोड़ा down है. Sir is clearly audible.
Okay.
Now you are audible.
Okay, so
Yes, you are audible. Please speak.
okay. So I was just saying that for the first year of my law school, I was not very studious type of person. I used to skip classes or bunk classes, and I used to engage in other activities, which were of my interest. So
that was something I didn't wanted to share.
but we must share that money of
no, that's necessary. But I would like that you should tell us about it.
Okay, so I want to get into the parliament at one point of my life. So I used to engage in political activities, and I used to do other kind of steps. Like I was assigned role in election, etc., etc. So I used to skip classes also, and I used to manage my attendance anyhow with the connections. But and for the very first year of my law school, which lay the foundation of your basic understanding of various subjects like constitution, contract, IPC, international law, etc., etc., all kind of subjects which I have shared with you, all were covered in my first 3 of law schools. And I did not used to attend classes, and I used to manage exam just a day before reading exam. Though my reading speed was always very good, so I used to read the relevant things the night before the examination. I used to crack examination. But at a later point of time, when my 4th year started, I realized that these things are not going to lead me anywhere if I would be so unprofessional with my commitments to a BLLB. So I thereafter, I took the onus on myself that, okay, I should now align myself with any particular kind of examination so that I could gain. It is always alleged that politicians are not so much well versed with the subjects, or they are. Sheetal, what did they said one day that नेता पढ़े लिखे नहीं होते. So anyhow,
किसने बोला था?
I think you teased me one day. So it is not only you, that's a common allegation which we face in a day-to-day life.
No, actually, we had this interaction, and I mean, that's the perception that I had, and I mistakenly said that to him. But I didn't mean it for you, but
that's not a allegation on your part. That's a very common thing I used to hear each and every time. But personally, I took that why we should, if I am a politician, that's a responsibility on myself that I should be so much well versed with the subject that even if I'm getting into parliament and making policies, I must be knowing the intricacies of the subject. For example, I am reading now. I'm specializing now in business laws, and I used to analyze judgment. Okay, Shriyanka, I would just call anyone. Okay. How many of Shriyanka, do you read judgment in a critical point of view?
So that depends. If I'm not agreeing with the final ratio, then I start critically analyzing it. Okay. If I am I am in favor of the ratio, then that thing ends there.
Okay. Puneet has joined after my interaction. Puneet, are you there?
Yes, sir.
So do you read judgment from a critical point of view, or you just read from an exam point of view?
So exam point of view, not.
So you do not check what are the loopholes in the judgment?
No, sir.
Okay, that's a very main problem which we used to do. Means what we should not do. Like whenever I read judgment or I read any kind of text, I see what are wrong things have been done by the Supreme Court or the High Court. Because see, Supreme Court is just a final court. Okay, it's not a God, or it's not a. Their judgments can also be reviewed and can be challenged. Okay, in a curative petition or review petition or something. So when you read judgments, read them from a critical point of view. What are the loopholes, or whether this judgment is actually right or not? And when you start doing this, you get to know, okay, this was said in this judgment, and that was, so in that way you keep remembering things. But once you read the judgment from on the exam point of view, you just read it and mug up, and when you face with the technical questions, when technical questions come before you face a lot of problems. So that's why I'm saying you read judgment from a critical point of view. Similar things are happening in our law school, or in National Law School also. Like for example, nowadays I'm reading a lot of Companies Act. So when I started reading Company Act, I came to realize that a particular section has been enacted by the legislature, but it has so much of loopholes that it cannot be checked. For example, Section 166 of the Companies Act. It is talking about the duties of the director. Okay, that if there are certain duties of the directors under the Companies Act, I think Sheetal, you must also recommend them to read Companies Law also. I think.
Yeah, they have company law classes going on. I think they're over. They're done with their company's law.
Okay, so have you done with your company's law?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so have you read Section 166 of Companies Act?
So actually, I've joined the course very late. So only 1 week ago, I've joined the classes.
Okay. So
I'm not.
Himani?
Anuj is there. I think Anuj must have done the classes. No, Anuj, Avneet. Yes, they are from the beginning.
I'm just calling names just to check whether they are on the same page or not.
Okay.
Okay,
Sorry, sir.
Anuj,
What are you saying?
have you followed all the company law classes?
No, sir.
Okay, Anuj,
Yes, sir.
have you followed company law classes?
Yes, sir.
So, have you taught you section 166 of the Companies Act?
Duties of directors.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
So you must have read the duties of director. The duties of director are such and such, and if they breach their duty, they are going to penalize. Correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay. For this, there's a recent amendment also in 2020.
20. They discriminalize the act of directors. Yes, sir.
Not only directors, they have decriminalized out of near about 50 provisions. So
Yes, sir.
they-
In which they discriminalize those provisions in which criminal liability.
They haven't decriminalized. They have just
Decriminalize those offenses
for-
in which मतलब जिसमें सर क्रिमिनलाइजेशन होता था उन्होंने उन सबको हटा दिया है। उनका कहना है कि कंपटीशन लॉ के लिए ये सारी चीजें मतलब सही नहीं है। मतलब ये कहना चाहते हैं कि कंपटीशन लॉ के मध्य कंपटीशन लॉ जो है हमारे देश में या
कंपनी लॉ
या नहीं, हाँ कंपनी लॉ सर, कंपनी लॉ प्लस कंपटीशन लॉ। उनका ये कहना है कि कंपनी लॉ में जो हम पेनल्टीज को डिस्क्रिमिनाइज कर रहे हैं उसके पीछे मोटिव ये है उनका कि जो उनको हेल्दी कंपटीशन का मतलब एनवायरनमेंट क्रिएट करना है इंडिया में, वो एक सबसे मतलब फर्स्ट पॉइंट है उनका। यहाँ पर कोई भी आके कैसा भी बिजनेस कर सकता है कंपनी लॉ में। बेसिकली क्या था कि पेनल्टीज के डर से या क्रिमिनलाइजेशन के डर से मतलब वो चीजें मतलब वो सारी एक प्रोसेस ऑफ लॉ में फंस जाती थी और वो लोग मतलब अपने एक्सटेंट को पॉसिबल तक मतलब सही से नहीं कर पाते थे। तो उसके रिगार्डिंग उन्होंने डिक्रिमिनलाइज किया इन सारी चीजों को।
Yes, if I take Chittambaram's name, he is saying this too much democracy. That there are too much democracy in India.
Mr. Avitabh Kant.
Sorry, Amitabh Kant. Chittambaram criticized it. Okay, sorry.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, for when you read section 166, they have decriminalized a lot of provisions so as to foster the investment in India. So this has been done. So number of provisions has been amended. So they have not decriminalized it. They have just removed the imprisonment. The penalty is still there. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what happens that if you just read the Bail Act from a critical point of view, I'm giving you this because I said you read Bail Act also for the example purpose. So when once you start reading the from the critical point of view, you would frame question for the exam itself, for this competition exam. For example, if a question comes before you that who can initiate proceedings against the director in case of breach of duty under section 166. So Anuj, could you just give me the answer?
From I think shareholders of the company.
No. Anyone else?
Promoters.
No. The promoters are itself who are the part whom direction directors work usually in India. Okay, I am just giving the answer. There is no such provision to enable how you can sue the directors in case of breach of duty. This is the lacuna in the act. You have said that in case of breach you will be penalized, but you haven't given the remedy who is going to file suit against the directors. So when you start reading from the critical point of view, you get to know this. So that's why I was saying that once you start reading it, this will surely help you in your basic understanding. And once you start pursuing your LLM, this would such type of things, your basic understanding of subject would help you in LLM also, because just cracking the CLAT or IELTS won't be as successful. You have to do your LLM also. This cracking CLAT is just a starting point of the your career. After that, you have to face LLM also for 1 or 2 years. So that's why I was saying that read from that point of view. So that's what my insight. Okay, which might help the as a policy maker, which one must do. So I was coming to the CLAT strategy. There are few, I think everyone is clear how much till now. If anyone of you could please just switch on your mic and reciprocate. Divya, are you there? Nikhil?
Sorry, can you repeat the question, sir, please?
Who can initiate proceeding against the director in case of breach under section 166? This question or
Sir, you gave the answer to this question.
huh?
You gave the answer to this question, but
Yes.
Sir,
Yeah.
outsiders.
No, sorry. Companies Act does not provide any remedy. That's the answer. No, it means there is no provision in Company Act which empowers anyone to file suit against the director in case of breach of the duty. Section 241 and 241, which deal with the operation and mismanagement, that also cannot be invoked in that circumstance. If you are thinking section 241 can be invoked, that can't be invoked. So that was just an insight, which is different from our today's discussion. I think today's discussion is much more based on the CLAT strategy. So let me focus on that. So once you get into the judgments, so I would suggest you to read judgment from 2017 onwards. 2017 to the last week of the examination. So because they ask very recent judgments also, that because, for example, your exam is scheduled on 21st of May, and you must read your judgments till 14th of May. Read all major judgments. Get the subscription of Live Law. In Live Law, they have made the compilation of each and every year's major judgment. For example, for 2017, if you see, for 2017, if you see the 1st January or 2nd January of we just search latest landmark judgments in their Live Law website, and they would give you result that 2018 landmark judgment, 2019 landmark judgment, and read each and every judgment. Just read only that judgment. Don't go beyond that. And for 2019 to 20, they will surely come up with the for 2019 landmark judgment. They would come with their compilation within a day or two. For 2021 judgment, sorry, 2020. For 2021 judgment, you have to follow each and every judgment from today itself, or from today court is not open on Monday. From Monday, you can start following what are judgments are coming from the Supreme Court on the usually 5 judges or 3 judges bench judgment, and then you will be able to you yourself will be able to know that this judgment is important and this judgment is not important as such. So follow their website, follow Live Law very carefully, read all judgments, read all books particularly, and this would be something, and keep revising. I must say that you must all make notes of reading. Once you read judgment, you must also make notes together with it. So at the end moment, your last week should be reserved for revising the judgment, that which section, which article has been declared unconstitutional, which judgments have been overruled, what are the suggestions have been made by the judges of the Supreme Court, what was the argument of the Attorney General. Such questions come as a question. Such type of things come as a question in the question paper, and once you make note, that will that will help you a lot at the end moment while doing the revision, because it's not possible to revise 500 pages judgment. It's better to make 20 to 30 or 40 pages of its compiled version in your own self-made notes. So that is something which I followed, and I would suggest you to make notes. I think I have made 10,000 of pages of notes, and I revised that. I only done revision just 10 days before my examination. Means NLET was scheduled on 2nd, I think on 10th or 12th, and before this writing NLET, I just started revision, and I have stopped reading anything new except any recent any recent landmark judgment, and that's my strategy which I follow, that you must make notes. Notes are very important. You just don't read, because once you would do revision out 6 months down the line, that would take you nowhere, because you would be in a situation that I have read, I do not remember anything. So don't make you yourself in that situation. And I believe that you have 5 or 6 months as of from now. So 6 months are more than enough, because I think I have read more than 200 judgments from lockdown from March to September. And I would also like to share one thing. Don't take it don't sympathize me for that. That I met with a road accident and 2 major accidents just a month before my exam. So I was hospitalized for 15 to 20 days. So I could not read anything. And so that was also thing which, even though 1 or 2 months might have been wasted, but 3 to 4 months are more than enough to cover 300 or 200 judgments. If your reading speed is good, and your reading speed will come only when you keep reading, keep practicing it. So anything comes with the practice. So read 2 to 3 judgments on a daily basis. Try to cover 300 or 400 pages each and every day. Much of the things, when you read judgment, you will come to know that they are not as such relevant. But I would suggest that don't skip anything, because क्या बोलते हैं हिंदी में, छूटे हुए सिलेबस से ही क्वेश्चन पेपर बन जाता है. So don't make yourself in that position that you would skip something and that would come as a question paper, and you would say that you would be in a situation that I should have read that also. But so don't regret it thereafter. It's just you should, if you are reading 500 pages from that judgment, why to skip 10 pages for that? So that's I would suggest you to do. And also that's one more thing which I would suggest, that's my personal suggestion, that many of us have habit on depending others, that they will teach us or they will teach me while facing this competition or that competition, or we will do a group study or something like that. See, that would be helpful in your semester exam, but in a competition, you have to compete with yourself and others also. So don't share something with others which may be deteriorated for yourself, because it is said that ज्ञान बांटने से बढ़ता है. It is ज्ञान बांटने से बढ़ता है. This is, let me just share what I follow. This, have you got this? But there is fill in the blanks which they haven't told us. Can anyone tell me what's is there in this fill in the blank?
Competitors.
हाँ, ज्ञान बांटने से told us. Can anyone tell me what's is there in this filling the blank?
Competitors.
हाँ, ज्ञान बांटने से कंपटीशन बढ़ता है. तो ज्ञान बांटिए मत, क्योंकि कंपटीशन बढ़ जाएगा. So if you would share something to your other competitor, he would be knowing that question, and because without even reading, and he would just mark one correct option. So don't do such type of thing in competition. You have to be at par with the others, and that's the only way. You should not be sharing anything, even if the person is sitting beside you. Then also you should not be helping in your examination. You just need to compete with yourself, because if you see my example, I scored highest mark in flat, but the other girl who was who scored the same marks, she got the first rank. So same thing goes in the when you go down the line. If you see ranks after 70 or 80, you will see that same number of score is there, but 5 to 6 rankers are there. For example, 45 numbers is there. 45 numbers, 71 to 75 rank holders are there. This is because of the age, they give preference to the age, and accordingly rank is decided. But the problem is this, that the 71 rank holder would get into the NLS, and 72nd rank holder with the same mark would get to the Nalsar. So this is the problem in the competition. Even if you help him, you will be and you would even score the same, but the institution would be a very different, and you know the value of the institution as such. And the same thing, someone has asked me the question about the PSU's recruitment. PSUs do the recruitment on the basis of your flat rank. ONGC, NTPC, NHPC, Oil India Limited, to the best of my knowledge, Power Grid and POCOSO. These are 5 to 6 organizations which recruit on the basis of flat rank. Vacancies are very unpredictable whether they are going to launch any kind of vacancy. This year only NHPC has declared 4 or I think 8 or 10 vacancies. Rest of the PSUs haven't declared any vacancy, so it's very uncertain. But once the vacancies are there, you would be getting priority over your rank. And once your rank, the top 20 rankers, it is believed that they surely secure their place as a legal officer in that particular PSU. I would come to the chat at the last, because I have earlier chats also. I would see the chat at the last. So for CLAT, you need to, for PSUs, you just need to focus on CLAT. And once your CLAT rank would be in the top 20, you will be invited for your interview. This year, because of the pandemic, interview was also not scheduled by NHPC, and they offered job on the CLAT rank itself. So, however, 85% weightage is given to your CLAT score. So, if you are at the top in the top 20, your 15% of your interview criteria is just a sake of formality, and you would be able to secure job in PSU if you are in the top 20. But for top 20, you should follow whatever I've said, that cover each and every book, be very thorough with the bare acts, keep revising, be very consistent with be consistent. Don't study for 2 days and then escape for 2 days. As Marvin told that I never took a leave in last 1.5 years. Even I met with an accident. I used to manage something in my hospital also, that I may read 1 or 2, even only where also. I used to give time to myself, and be very consistent and check the latest updates on the live law, and the rest things will be with you. Nothing as such that is very important with this exam. This is like any other exam, and it's very easy to crack. Means if you are very consistent, if you have covered each and every syllabus, if you have covered syllabus, that would give you confidence, and at the D-Day you will be able to crack it very easily.
Sir, last but not least, I'm asking a question. Sir, how
No,
many
you
times
can keep your question. This was from my side. I have completed my.
Sir, how many times you revise the whole course before to appear in the exam?
I think because thanks to our Vice Chancellor, he has given mock test to us as a form of NLET. For NLET, I took it as a mock test, and for that I revised once. Thereafter, after NLET, on 20 to 24th, I done revision twice, and then on 24th I left for Bhopal. On 25th I left for Bhopal. I have to drive and all. So after 25, only twice I have done the revision.
Sir, a question.
Twice with the case laws, but before the lockdown, I have done before of my revision of my books and all the subjects which I read. That I have done twice. So twice with the books which I read and twice with the judgments. Okay.
सर वन लास्ट क्वेश्चन सर. सर जैसे केस लॉज कैलेट में भी आता है और एलिट में भी उसमें से कुछ कुछ पार्ट आता है, तो सर केस लॉज नंबर ऑफ जैसे केस लॉज 100 to 200 हम लोगों को पढ़ना है, हम लोगों को रिवाइज करना है, तो इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल टू बी हम उसका हर एक एस्पेक्ट रिमेंबर रखें. तो सर जो इम्पोर्टेंट मतलब इम्पोर्टेंट जो फैक्ट होते हैं, जैसे बेंच कितने का था, कौन किसने डिसेंट दिया, उसमें क्वेश्चन ऑफ लॉ क्या फ्रेम किया गया, सर ये बेसिकली जो 10-15 क्वेश्चन जो बनते हैं किसी जजमेंट से, आई थिंक ये मतलब ये इनफ होंगे हम उसको अगर उनको याद रखें, मेमोराइज रखें.
कि मैंने बोला कि जैसा मैंने आपको बताया बीच में कि पॉसिबल नहीं है कि आप इतने सारे जजमेंट रट पाओ, इसलिए मैंने बोला कि आप नोट्स बनाइए साथ में पढ़ते पढ़ते. जितनी चीजें डिस्कस की गई हैं सब कुछ आपको पढ़ना पड़ेगा. आप कुछ स्किप नहीं कर सकते कि ये इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं है, ये इम्पोर्टेंट है. सब चीज़ पढ़िए. डिसेंट क्या है, डिसेंटिंग जजमेंट भी पढ़िए, कंकरिंग जजमेंट भी पढ़िए, पूरा जजमेंट पढ़िए. 500 पेज का है, 1000 पेज का है, 1500 पेज तक के मैंने जजमेंट पढ़ के गया हूँ. आधार वाला 1500 पेज का जजमेंट था, उसको पढ़ा जब तक कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ उसको मैंने छोड़ा नहीं था. 4 दिन लगे थे लेकिन उसको पूरा कंप्लीट किया था. तो क्वेश्चन आता है अब, क्योंकि अब बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट जजमेंट है. 1400 पेज में कुछ भी आ सकता है 1400-1500 पेज के जजमेंट में. तो रिवीजन आपको, जब आप रिवीजन करेंगे तो आपके पास ये नोट्स रहेंगे, तो ये नोट्स आपको काफ़ी मदद करेंगे. तो बस पढ़िए मत, साथ में लिखिए भी उसको.
सर बेसिकली आप ये कहना चाह रहे हो ना कि जो केस आप एक बार पढ़ रहे हो उसके बाद जो आप उसको रिवाइज करोगे तो आप उन नोट्स को रिवाइज करोगे जो आपने केस पढ़ने के टाइम बनाए हैं.
हाँ,
वो बेसिकली मेन चीज है.
बस दोबारा जजमेंट खोलने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, लेकिन नोट्स ऐसे रहने चाहिए कि जजमेंट से कुछ छूटना नहीं चाहिए.
ओके सर, ओके, थैंक यू सर.
चाहे कितने भी नोट्स बनाना पड़ जाए, चाहे 100 पन्ने भरने पड़े.
सर आपने 1500 वाले के लिए कितने पन्ने भरे थे?
पता नहीं यार, मैं बताया 10,000 पेज से ज्यादा मैंने नोट्स बनाए हैं. मेरे ख्याल से 50 से ज्यादा नोटबुक मैंने भर दी है. Any more questions? Now I am open with the questions. मेरा हो गया. Let's just check the chat. Okay, there is a private chat. Is it okay to only refer important topics to textbooks, and can the rest be covered by BARE? Sorry, I would suggest you to read books, and when you will read books, BARE would supplement your BARE would supplement your knowledge with the books, because आप book पढ़ते हैं, when you read book, number of times the BARE Act provisions come before you, and ultimately you read BARE Act without, even if you don't want, because if you would just read BARE Act, it would be so monotonous. Books narrate BARE Act as a story. They try to relate various provisions, so in that way you get a broad understanding of the subject. So I would suggest you to read books more, and when you will read books, supplement them with the BARE Act. For books, I would suggest for online books, you can take Shriyanka, LibGen, and such kind. Sheetal, if you could, I will send you the mail where they can find online books. Sheetal, are you there?
Yes, Abhishek. I've sent them ebooks of the subjects
Okay.
that
क्या
they need.
मिल गए हैं मैम, हमको ग्रुप में मिल गए हैं. शाश्वता ने
Oh.
पोस्ट कर दिया.
अच्छा, शाश्वता ने भेज दिया ना, ठीक है.
हाँ हाँ, ओके.
Whatever the book you need, just WhatsApp me, text me, I'll send it across.
ओके मैम.
For IELTS, concept is more important than case law. Right? Yes, for IELTS, case law concept is very important. They don't pose very straightforward questions. Your concept must be very clear. Then only you would be able to face the question. So I would suggest you to read books and read books. Critically analyze the BARE Act. Then you would be in a situation to answer any question. Okay. Any more questions? Does anyone have any kind of doubt?
Any questions, guys, or shall we end this session? If you have any questions, just unmute yourself and you can speak or ask
Yes,
questions.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir, as you mentioned that you have covered around 10,000 pages of your notes.
Hmm.
Sir, actually, with me, the problem is that since we all have studies our in our LLBs, so abhi is stage pe to take up the book and make notes of each and everything and to manage the judgments and timings, like how to do that. I'm like अभी मुझे ये लग रहा है कि मैंने जितना भी पढ़ा है वो सब वैनिश लाइक इतना सारा है पढ़ने को.
नहीं नहीं, आपको उसमें
I'm
निराश होने की जरूरत नहीं है, निराशा में आशा दीजिए. द थिंग इज, आई पोज माय एग्जांपल आल्सो दैट आई वाज अ बिग फेलियर बिफोर फोर्थ ईयर. मैंने भी शुरू के 3 साल कुछ नहीं पढ़ा. फोर्थ ईयर में भी मैंने फोर्थ ईयर के फ्रॉम द एट सेमेस्टर आई एक्चुअली टुक दिस रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी और टुक दिस एज अ चैलेंज. और 1.5 साल में मैंने लगभग लगभग सारी बुक कंप्लीट की थी. तो मैंने तो कुछ ज़्यादा ही बुक पढ़ी थी, मैंने आपको वो लिस्ट भी सजेस्ट नहीं की है. हर बुक हर सब्जेक्ट में मैंने 6 से 7 बुक्स शौक से. और टाइम मैनेजमेंट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो फॉर दैट आई वुड सजेस्ट यू टू चॉक योर टाइम फ्रॉम मॉर्निंग टिल नाइट, कि मुझे दिन भर में कितना क्या काम करना है. मुझे इतने बजे उठना है, इतने बजे सोना है, इतने बजे मुझे पढ़ना है, इतने बजे मुझे फेसबुक चलाना है. मैं तो फेसबुक और सोशल मीडिया में भी नहीं हूँ. मैंने ये फ्लैट जिस दिन चालू किया था पढ़ना, उस दिन गया था मोबाइल ले लिया था याद इस, बाकी वो वाला स्मार्टफोन फेंक दिया था. सो एज टू सेव माई टाइम. काफ़ी टाइम वेस्ट हो जाता है इसमें सोशल मीडिया में. और उसके साथ अगर लैपटॉप और टैब जुड़ जाएँ तो और वो चार चांद लगा देते हैं. सो फॉर दैट आई वुड सजेस्ट यू टू मैनेज योर टाइम. आप टाइम टेबल सबसे पहले बनाइए और उसमें देखिए कि मैं सुबह 5 बजे उठूंगी और रात को 11 बजे सोऊंगी और 6 घंटे की बस मेरी नींद रहेगी. जैसे मैं ये करता था, बस 6 घंटे सोता था. दोपहर में कभी कभी कुछ ज़्यादा ही खा लेता था, नींद आती थी तो मैं लाइब्रेरी में ही सो जाता था आधे घंटे के लिए या 45 मिनट्स के लिए. सो वंस यू वुड चॉक योर दिस शेड्यूल, तो आपको पता चलेगा कि अच्छा मुझे संडे मंडे को ये सब्जेक्ट कवर करना है, ट्यूसडे को ये करना है, थर्सडे को ये करना है. और फिर आप एक सिचुएशन में होगा, ओवरऑल आप फिर आपके दिमाग में ये रहेगा कि हाँ मैं सब कुछ कुछ कर रही हूँ, गलत गलत डायरेक्शन में नहीं जा रही हूँ. बट बिकॉज विदाउट हैविंग टाइम टेबल और विदाउट कवरिंग ऑल द सब्जेक्ट्स, आप होता है ऐसा कि एक अंडर कॉन्फिडेंस रहता है कि मैंने कुछ भी नहीं किया है. आप सब कुछ करने के बाद भी एक रहता है. बट अगर आपके सामने आपका टाइम टेबल रहेगा तो आपको पता रहता है कि हाँ मैं इस डायरेक्शन में हूँ, मैं टाइम वेस्ट नहीं कर रही हूँ और मेरा सब कुछ सॉर्टेड चल रहा है. तो सुधी, आई वुड सजेस्ट यू टू मेक टाइम टेबल फर्स्ट. शीतल को मैंने शायद एक बार टाइम टेबल दिखाया था अपना.
तो
मेरा
सर आप
सुबह
मॉर्निंग में रिलीजियसली 5 o'clock उठ के you start like
नहीं, सुबह मॉर्निंग में मैं जिम जाता था.
so actually like could you please share your schedule what did
वही मैं
what did
ढूंढ
you
रहा हूँ, वही मैं ढूंढ रहा हूँ कहाँ है मेरे, क्या नाम से जस्ट चेक माय शेड्यूल. मेरा पुराना शेड्यूल तो मुझे नहीं मिल रहा है, लेकिन एक नया शेड्यूल मैंने यहाँ एनालिस्ट के लिए बनाया था, बस उसको देखना. Just a second, please. May I share my screen?
Yes, sir.
This is a bit. Okay, this is with my LLM timetable. You can, you would be able to, means you will able to get what was my, how I frame my timetable. So this is my timetable. This is how I chalk my schedule. This is a change version as per now. Earlier I used to wake up at 5 and hit gym till 6:30, and by 7 I used to on my table. For now I've changed a bit. So this is how I chalk my whole day. There is no as such for time, because now I'm a bit relaxed, but at the time of CLAT I do not used to take a lot of rest, only from 11 to 5. And usually this is a new timetable, so I could not tell you, I could not show you my CLAT timetable, but this is how you should chalk your schedule. Means for you should, for example, if this is a free hour, you could from 8:30 to 11 just mention for this 2 hours my slot is reserved for this particular activity for this 2 hours, or this class is in this time my class is scheduled, or at this time I would be going to take rest from 6 to 9 I would be taking. Here I would suggest you that during my CLAT hours, CLAT time, from 9 to 11 my time was scheduled for either constitutional law or public international law, because that was my favorite subject also, and a number of questions were used to ask based on constitution and the public international law. So you must, and intellectual property rights is my area, so I used to devote much of time to these 3 subjects. So accordingly they used to be in my timetable. So is this helpful for you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very much helpful for everyone, I believe.
I don't know of others how they are managing time, because I do not used to give time to myself. Like I know that I am, except my gym hours, I was not having enough time to go for a movie or vacation, because before that I used to visit a lot, some in and around Varanasi and stuff like that. But 1.5 year I think I've not given time to myself a lot, or to my family or my friends. Anything else?
So this timetable was for your CLAT
This is
preparation?
my LLM timetable as of now. This is my new timetable. CLAT timetable I have to search. I think that might be stick at somewhere on my wall at home, or at my. So it might be there. I would just check on my. I've changed my laptop also, so it's not there. But I would check it whether I have some snap of it or not in my Google Drive or Google Photos, if it would be there. Take its print out when you make your timetable and stick on your wall, so that you should be able to know whether means your schedule of the whole day should be in front of your eyes, that at this time I must be doing this, and I won't be wasting my time at some other activities like TV or social media or stuff like that. So this is very helpful. Means time management and consistency is something which everyone says. पहले हम लोग को लगता है normally कि क्या time management बोल रहे हैं, लेकिन down the line when you get to see your result, that helps a lot, because once you manage your time, you devote a lot of time to your studies, and don't waste your time somewhere where you should not be wasting.